Good morning. Today, 10th standard, our topic is Lochinvar, the poem Lochinvar, written by Sir Walter Scott. So, before going to the poem, we will first look into the author, the poet of this. Sir Walter Scott, 1771 to 1832, was an excellent storyteller, both in prose and verse. In this popular ballad, he tells us how in olden days brave young men in Scotland passed the necessary dash and pluck to be extraordinary things. His narrative poems fascinated the reader by the gripping action, starring measure, and imaginative appeal. So, what is ballad? Ballad is nothing but a love story told in the form of poem. So, this poem, Lochinvar, is a ballad in the form of a poem. The poet wants to tell a story of in those days the young men's struggle in their love is told in these ways. So we'll begin. Before beginning, I would like to tell you in short what is this poem about. This is a poem about a young knight, a soldier, Lochinvar. So he was a soldier, a knight. That knight who had loved a girl called Ellen in England. But Ellen was about to get married as Ellen's father had refused Lochinvar's proposal. And at this moment, when Ellen was getting married to some other person, a person who is not worth Ellen, suddenly Lochinvar, who was in the war, fighting with someone, some other country, suddenly comes to know about her marriage with some other person, comes immediately without any delay to England to get her abducted. Abduction means taking her away. Abduction. So what and all he faced on the way and till he abducted Ellen is the narration here. So we'll begin. O young Lochinvar is come out of the west. Through all the bright border his steed was the best, and save his good broadsword, he weapons had none. He rode all unarmed, and he rode all alone. So faithful in love and dauntless in war. There never was knight like the Lochinvar, young Lochinvar. So first stanza, first 6 lines of this poem says, O young Lochinvar. Lochinvar was a young man who came out of the west, who is coming from the west. Through all the wide border, his steed was the best. So, however he is coming, his steed, his speed, what do you see? Whenever you find any difficult words in this poem, just go through the glossary where you find the meaning of the words, difficult words, and new words in this glossary. So, O young man, Lochinvar is come out of the west. Through all the wide border, his steed was the best, and save his good broadsword, he weapons had none. So, except save his good broadsword means except his double-edged sword, he had no other weapon. He was carrying no other weapon. He rode all unarmed and he rode all alone. So he was not accompanying anyone, but he was all alone. So faithful in love and so dauntless in war. So faithful in love. He is good in war. That is, he is brave and he is romantic also. There never was knight like the young Lochinvar. So you cannot find a man, a soldier like Lochinvar in that country. O young Lochinvar is come out of the west. Through all the white border his steed was the best, Steed here is a horse. His steed was the best, and save his sword, good sword, his weapons had none. He rode all unarmed, and he rode all alone, so faithful in love and dauntless in war. Faithful in love and dauntless. Dauntless means fearless in war. There never was knight like the young Lochinvar. So this is all about the description of Lochinvar, how he rides and what is the characteristics and form of Lochinvar. So we'll go to next stanza. He stayed not for brake, and he stopped not for stone. He swam the Esk river, where ford there was none. But ere he alighted at Netherby gate, the bride had consented, the gallant came late. For a laggard in love and a dastard in war was to wed the fair Ellen of brave Lochinvar. So this para describes you about his journey and how he reached the Netherby hall, where the wedding is venued. So he stayed not for break. He never stopped for any break, nor he was worried, nor he did not fear for any obstacles on his way. He stopped for he did not stop for any stone. That means all hurdles or whatever hurdles he is getting on the way, he did not stop. He swam the Esk River. Esk River is the river in the borders of Scotland and England. This river is very deep river. You cannot find any shallow place. He swam the Esk River where ford was none. So he swam the Esk River when he could not walk through the river. But ere he alighted at Netherby gate. So with facing all these hurdles, obstacles, he came to Netherby hall. The bride had consented, the gallant came late. So Ellen has already given her consent as the gallant. Gallant is none other but Lochinvar. Gallant came late. As he has come late, she said yes to this new boy. That is, who is new boy? He is laggard in love. This bride, the one person who Ellen is going to marry, is a laggard in love and dastard in war. He doesn't know what is love, and he is a dumb person, a dull person, even in life, and even he is not that courageous, he is not that brave in war. Was to wed the fair Ellen of brave Lochinvar. So you can say he is a dumb and dull person, selected as no choice. As she has said, she has consented to the choice of her father. No, so boldly he entered the Netherby hall amongst bridesmen and kinsmen and brothers and all. Then spoke the bride's father, his hand on his sword. For the poor craven bridegroom said never a word. Oh, come you in peace here, or come you in war, or to dance out our bridal young Lord Lochinvar. So now the third para describes about the situation in the Netherby hall gate. So Lochinvar reaches Netherby hall, and at that moment he see that there are men, all kinsmen, all men, brothers, all cousins, everyone, all relatives, friends were there of Ellen and Ellen's family. Then spoke the bride's father. Seeing Lochinvar at the gate, Ellen's father approaches him, and he speaks to Lochinvar, keeping his sword keeping his hands on the sword. What does it mean? He is a little bit scared, little bit bothered about his presence in this marriage. He was worried about Lochinwar's presence at the Netherby hall, as he had doubt that this Lochinwar had come to take away his daughter Ellen with him. So he asked him, Ellen's father asked Lochinwar, have you come? Oh, you come in peace. Have you come in peace or you come in war? So have you come to make peace or have you come to make war here, to fight here? Or to dance at our bridal, O young Lochinwar? So he says, have you come to dance or have you just have you come to war? Have you come for peace or have you come just to attend this wedding? This is all about third para. Third para says what? Third para says about the situation at the Netherby hall gate where her father, Ellen's father, inquires Lochinwar for what purpose he has come to that place, and he was little bit worried as he holds his hands. He keeps his hands on the sword so that if he attacks, Lochinwar attacks at that moment, he can fight him back. But one more sentence here they have given. Then spoke the bride's father, his hands on the sword, for the poor craven bridegroom said never a word. So the craven here refers to the bridegroom. He is described as a very, very dull person who is not bothered to ask this man who has come to take away his bride away from him. Coming to fourth stanza. I long would your daughter, my suit you denied. Love swells like the Soloway, but ebbs like its tide. And how I have come with the lost love of mine to lead but one measure, drink one cup of wine. There are maidens in Scotland more lovely by far that would gladly be bride to the young Lochinwar. So fourth stanza says his reply to the enquiries made by Ellen's father. So he said, I long would your daughter, my suit you denied. He had already asked Lochinwar's Ellen's father that will you give your daughter in marriage to me? But his father had denied this proposal. Love swells like the Solway but ebbs like its tide. So Solway is the border of England and Scotland, where you can see the river. You can see the river borders where the tides come. When the tides come, it is very forceful, and you can enjoy this forceful tides coming to the side of the river. But when it ebbs, when is the water is up, it is very forceful. When it goes down, it takes away each and everything on its way on the place. So same way it shows love swells. He has compared to his love. It is not about the river. He has compared his feelings about to Ellen in this stanza, that I loved Ellen so deeply that at that moment I was so happy, but you have denied my proposal. But my proposal, as you denied my proposal, I just lost everything. My I have returned from that love. I don't have any kind of feeling now. And now I am come with this lost love of mine. I have lost my love here. To lead but one measure, drink one cup of wine. So why have I come here? To have one cup of wine? There are maidens in Scotland more lovely by far that would gladly be bride to the young Lochinvar. What he replies is, I have just come here to drink a cup of wine as a celebration, a show of token of celebration in this wedding. I want to join in this, in your celebrations, in your happiness. So nothing but that's it. And if you still doubt, I have so many maidens, I have so many ladies in Scotland who wants to marry this young Lochinvar. There are maidens, not one, there are maidens. So many are there who really wants to marry me. So we'll go to the next stanza. The bride kissed the goblet, the knight took it up. He coughed off the wine and he threw down the cup. She looked down to blush and she looked up to sigh, with a smile on her lips and a tear in her eyes. He took her soft hand ere her mother could bar. Now try and tread we a measure, said young Lochinvar. So the bride kissed the goblet. The bride kissed the goblet. He was having a drink in the wedding hall. The bride kissed the goblet. Now, why the same cup he had kept, the knight took it up. He quaffed of the wine. The kissed cup of wine by the bride. Who took it? The knight, the Lochinvar took it, and he drank the wine, and he threw down the cup. She looked down to blush. She was very shy. She was blushing, and she looked up to sigh. So she was happy, and she is not imagining what is going on. She is confused whether she has to be happy or whether she has to be sad. Why? Because she is seeing the person she loved so deeply in front of her, and what day? It is her wedding day, and she is confused now what to do now. But at this moment, when she saw Lochinvar before him, she was blushing, and when she remembers it is her wedding day, she is shying, with a smile on her lips and a tear in her eyes. So smile on her lips because she is seeing Lochinvar in front of her, and why tear? Because it is her wedding day. He took her soft hand ere her mother could bar. Now tread we a measure, said young Lochinvar. So what he did, he took her hand while they were drinking, and he took her soft hand for dance. But his mother, Ellen's mother, could not stop Lochinvar by taking her to dance. What he said, now tread we a measure, will dance. So in the next video I will explain you the remaining part of the poem. Till then, take care. Namaste.